So I'm Randy and I'm an alcoholic. And what that means when I say that I'm an alcoholic, what it means for me is that my body has become allergic to alcohol. I can never ever drink alcohol successfully again. And for me, personally, I can't take any mind-altering drugs because they always lead me back to alcohol. And I'm allergic to alcohol. I can never ever drink it successfully again. But that being said, alcohol and drugs is not my problem. My problem is alcoholism. That's what they call the disease that I have. They call it alcoholism. My problem is that I have a mental illness. I see a lot of new faces in the room right now, so I always preface when I speak, I like to say, I hope that you don't have what I have. I hope that you're a heavy drinker and that you can stop drinking and all your problems go away. That was not my experience. I stopped drinking and things got good on the outside. My car got good, my house, my living, the money I was making, being able to keep a job, my relationships with people got better on the outside. But on the inside, my life got worse. My mind got rattier. I got more restless, irritable, and discontent. I got in more pain sober than I did drunk, emotional pain. And that emotional pain is what always leads me back to drugs and alcohol, or to alcohol. And so my problem is this emotional pain that I get into, this being in a constant state of restless, irritable, and discontentness, to quote the book. Those are words from the book. But in my life, I see that's what happens to me. That's my normal state in alcoholism, is to be restless, irritable, and discontent. And it's coupled with this other selfish self-centeredness, that all I can think about is me, and everything that happens in the world I think is happening to me. If two guys are standing on the side of the meeting and they turn to each other and they say something and they laugh, my mind tells me they're laughing at me. Now, I have no idea if that's true, but I feel like if they're laughing, they must be laughing at me. And my mind tells me that. And then my mind tells me, you know what? I hate those guys. I don't want anything to do with those guys. Those guys are idiots. I'm not even going to talk to them ever again. Now, I have no proof that they were talking about me or had anything to do with me, but the fact that they were laughing and I wasn't included, I take that personally, and they're out. And that's it, and it's over, and that's the end of the story. You're never going to be my friend again until you can prove yourself to be worthy of my friendship and not be a behind my back laugher. And so that's what's wrong with me. It's my mind that's wrong with me. It's the way my mind talks to me. It talks to me in my own voice, and I believe everything it says. Because why would I lie to myself? That's insane. Wouldn't that be insane if you were to lie to yourself? That would be insanity. I do it all day long in alcoholism. Now, I will also say this. I'm sober a long time. For me, it's a long time. 31 years, that's more than half of my life I've been sober now. I still have to do today everything I had to do when I was newly sober in order to have a good day today. My disease still needs the same treatment today that it did on day one. This disease is like having myopia, bad eyesight. If you have bad eyesight and you have to wear glasses, you have to wear those glasses every day. Wearing glasses doesn't make my eyesight better. I had a sponsor, he had Coke bottle eyeglasses. I mean, they were like the bottoms of Coke bottles. They were so thick. And every morning he had to get up. If he wanted to get out of bed and not bump into stuff, he had to put those glasses on. Otherwise, he couldn't function in the day he was in. I have alcoholism. I have a disease that centers in my mind. If I don't start a treatment in the morning, if I don't start treating my disease, I have a mental illness, and I start bumping into stuff mentally. I start arguing with everybody and everything mentally, and I start having an unmanageable day. So the 12th step says having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps. So that's the last step. And then it says, I try to carry this message to alcoholics because that keeps me in the message. And I try to practice these principles in all my affairs because be spiritual and not be living by spiritual principles. That's a non sequitur. I mean, it doesn't happen. So the last step is having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps. It seems to me that the purpose of the 12 steps is to have a spiritual awakening. It doesn't say in the 12th step, now that I'm not drinking and I've learned all this stuff about myself, now I'm going to live better out in the world. Now I can use my mind again and everything's going to be okay. So long as I don't drink. It doesn't say that. It says having had a spiritual awakening. So this whole program, and this is my opinion, but it's the way I read the literature, this whole program is about having a spiritual awakening. The only time my spirit can be awakened is right here, right now, in this room, right now. The spiritual awakening doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't happen in time. Years don't create a spiritual awakening. And it doesn't happen because I didn't drink alcohol today. So none of those things create a spiritual awakening, and neither does going to a meeting. It's a distraction from my mind to go to a meeting and listen to someone else talk about how sorry their life is, and then my life doesn't feel so sorry. It can be a good distraction. I can get some hope. Sometimes people talk about how good their lives gotten, and now they have a wife and a job and money in the bank, and they're driving a nice car. And I see that and I think, ooh, if I just stay sober, that'll happen for me. And it might. But it doesn't matter if it happens or it doesn't happen. If I don't have the spiritual awakening, I'm not going to enjoy any of it. So the way I describe alcoholism in my life is alcoholism is a unsatisfiable, fault-finding, opinionated mind. So that's who I am as an alcoholic with alcoholism. I'm unsatisfiable. And don't take my word for it. Look at your own life. Are you satisfied with your job? Are you satisfied with your girlfriend or your boyfriend? Are you satisfied with the amount of money you have in the bank? Are you satisfied with where you live? Are you satisfied with the person you're sitting next to right now in this meeting? Are you satisfied with the temperature in the room? What is it that your mind is finding fault with? Because my mind's always finding fault with something. Even when I get exactly what I want in my life, oh, if I just had that girl, then I'd be happy. I get that girl, 2 weeks after I have that girl, I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of her and get a different one that'll make me happy. Nothing ever makes me happy for very long. For very long. So I like to describe alcoholism, the disease, so that I can be reawakened to why I'm here. Why am I in this room? I'm in this room because I have a mind that's damaged. My mind is damaged. I don't know if alcohol did it. I believe I was unsatisfiable long before I started drinking alcohol. We bought a new house. I was in 5th grade. I don't know how old that is, but I was in 5th grade. My parents bought a new house. I was in 5th grade. My little brother was in 3rd grade. He's 2 years younger than me. They walked us into the new house and they said, Randy, you're the older brother. You get to pick the first room. You get to pick your bedroom. Cliff gets the other one of the other 2 rooms. Big problems. So I looked at all 3 rooms and I picked the big one. I got the biggest room and I was so happy. I loved that room and I was going to move in. And then my little brother went into his room and this room had this like racing stripe painted in it. And he says, oh, I'm so glad you picked that room. I wanted this room. And for the rest of my life in that house, I resented my little brother for getting the room with the racing stripe. Now I got to pick the room. That's insane. And that's the way I am in my life. And I got to see that. And that's why I drink alcohol. Because nothing ever works out for me in my mind. Even when I get exactly what I want. I don't want that anymore. I want what you want. And so I'm constantly restless, irritable, and discontent. until I take a drink. Alcohol works perfectly for alcoholism. It's the best over-the-counter drug ever for alcoholism. I take a drink, immediately, my room's okay. You can have whatever room you want. I don't care. Just get me another drink. I don't care what you do. The girl I'm with is okay. Just get me another drink. I can stay here. I can live with this. This is okay. The amount of money I have in the bank, so long as I have enough to buy the next drink, I'm okay with money. And I'll figure out how to get yours while we're drinking anyway, so don't worry about it. So long as I'm drinking, I'm faster, smarter, funnier, better looking, taller. Everything I ever wanted, alcohol did for me. But I used it, and I used it every day, and I used it over and over and over and over and over, and I treated my disease so much with alcohol that I eventually became allergic to it. So now I'm finding myself in AA, and I think the name of the game is just don't drink. There's a lot of meetings here where they say, just don't drink today and you're a winner. Well, I wasn't. I would not drink that day, go to that meeting, everyone would be all rah-rah, putting their arms around each other and all excited about being sober, and I would go home and sit on my bed and weep because I felt like I was the world's biggest loser. Nothing ever worked out for me. I never got the right girl. I never got the right job, the right car, the right house, the right anything. And I was dying of alcoholism. With 2.5 years of sobriety, I wanted to kill myself most days. I just wanted to I just couldn't stand the pain of being me. I know I can't drink. I can never ever drink again. I tried that a few times in the beginning. It never worked. So I can't drink. I'm going to 2 meetings a day and I hate my life. 2.5 years sober and I want to kill myself. And I met my sponsor, Ted. And he's the one who said, take a look at your life, man. Alcoholism isn't alcohol. Alcoholism, he said for himself, was an unsatisfiable, fault-finding, opinionated mind. So that's why I'm here. Now it needs a treatment. Now when I go back into the steps to treat my mind, not to treat alcohol, it's a whole different adventure. So step 1, I always just talk about steps 1, 2, and 3. I know there's 12 steps. And they're all very important, but we can't talk about all 12 steps in a 20-minute talk. It'd be impossible. We can barely scratch the surface on 1, 2, and 3 in a 20-minute talk. But in step 1, it says, who cares to admit complete defeat? That's the first line in the 12 and 12. In the big book, it says, the first requirement is that I be convinced that any life run on self-will can hardly be a success. Life has a way of convincing me of that. If I'm not convinced today, all I have to do is practice some more self-will, and life will convince me. And that's what happens to everybody in this program. Eventually, I get to a place where I'm willing to admit complete defeat. I'm a complete defeat. I'm admitting it right here, right now in this meeting. I am a complete defeat. I don't know how to lead a meeting. I don't know how to be a husband. I don't know how to drive my car. I can do all those things. I drive my car. I'm very good at it. I can get from one place to another. But while I'm driving, in my mind, I am killing people. In my mind, I am getting so angry in my mind while I'm driving that I'm a walking time bomb. And then when I get to work, I'm so mad about what happened at driving that I just blow up at work. And I'm mad at work. And then I get home and I'm mad at my wife. I'm not mad at her, I'm just mad. But all she sees is mad. She doesn't know it's because I've been talking to myself about the guy who didn't turn left at the yellow light. She just sees crazy man coming through the door. He's always angry. What's the matter with this guy? And I'm expelling everybody in my life. I push them all out of my life because I'm angry and restless and discontent all the time. So when I can admit complete defeat, when I can say, hey, I don't know how to drive my car, I'm going to need some help if I'm going to get across town and have a good attitude. Hey, I'm going to need some help in being a good husband and not finding fault with my wife all day long. Hey, I'm going to need some help to lead a meeting because I feel like every meeting I say the same thing and I think people don't want to hear it anymore. I'm going to need some help. Could you speak through me? Could you help me? Could you be with me? So when I get to the place where I can admit complete defeat and I stand ready to do anything which will lift my merciless obsession, Today, I have to admit that my merciless obsession is not alcohol. That has been lifted. By the grace of God, I am no longer obsessed with drinking alcohol. I asked something for about 6 months to relieve me of this obsession to drink, and one day it went away, and my mind got quiet about alcohol, and it was awesome. And then it started talking to me about everything else. So today I stand ready to do anything which will lift my merciless obsession. And the thing that I have to do is step 2. Step 2, I have to do the worst thing that ever happened to me. I have to start right now in this moment coming to believe that there's a power greater than me. And that the power that is greater than me is the only power that can restore me to sanity. At the end of how it works, it's the ABCs. It says, A, I'm alcoholic and I cannot manage my life. The life I can't manage is my inner life. I can drive my car, I can pay my bills, but while I'm driving my car and paying my bills, I'm going crazy inside. I'm in fear that I'm running out of money. I'm in fear that I'm going to be late. I'm in fear of everything. So, I'm alcoholic. I can never ever drink alcohol again. I'm allergic to alcohol, and I can't manage my inner thinking. Then it says, probably, that's Bill Wilson's way of allowing alcoholics who are completely closed-minded and defiant to the core. He put the word probably in front of the sentence that says, probably no human power can relieve my alcoholism. So you're a human power and I'm a human power, and neither one of us can relieve my alcoholism. And then it says God could and would if it were sought. So I better start sodding, if that's it. That's the only answer. God could and would if it were sought. It doesn't say God could and would if I didn't drink anymore, because I can't be sodding God and drinking. It just doesn't work. I can't be in active alcoholism, in active alcohol, and have a relationship with a higher power. I know a lot of people have tried. I know a lot of them. And I have tried in the past, and it's terrible. But God could and would if he were sought. He could relieve my alcoholism, this mental illness that I have in my mind. But what I got to do is I've got to start rightly relating myself to it. And I've got to start doing it right now. And this is what it sounds like in my mind. God, could you be with me? Power. I don't believe in God, by the way. I use the word God because it's the name of the thing that has all knowledge and all power. I don't know what that thing is. But the name of the thing that has all knowledge and all power is God. It's a title, not a name, actually. The title is God, one that has all knowledge and all power. So there's something, I believe there's something that has all knowledge and all power. And I ask that something to be with me right now. Could you be with me? Something, could you help me? Could you help me to hear what's being said here? Because my mind wants to go on vacation, or my mind wants to go add up money, how much money I have. Could you help me to be present in this room right now? Could you help me to be the man that you want me to be right now in this room? Could you help me to do your will? Could you guide and direct my thoughts? Could you protect me from my mind? And when I do that, when I sincerely admit complete defeat, and I'm in a spirit of complete defeat, I don't know how to sit in a meeting and listen. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here at this meeting. Could you help me, power? Could you help me? And when I do that in a spirit of complete defeat, with an open mind, a mind free of self, no preconceived ideas, no opinions, and I ask that power to help me, I get a moment of peace. Just a moment of quiet. What I call sanity is quiet. My mind is quiet. It's sane. It's quiet. It's calm. And I get a moment of calm, a moment of quiet. And when I get that one moment, I can never ever not know that again. I know now. It's my understanding that when I share my life with this higher power, that I get a moment of peace. And then maybe I'll try it again right now. Power, could you be with me now? Could you protect me from my mind now? Could you help me now? And I get another moment of peace. And when I have practiced step 2 for a while, I build up a lot of moments of peace. And when I have enough moments of peace, then I can make a decision, a real decision. Okay, do I want to turn my will and my life over to my care where I'm constantly restless, irritable, and discontent, always in a hurry and easily frustrated, and everything bothers me and I'm afraid of everything? Or do I want to spend this moment, just this one, with my higher power? Do I want to turn my will and my life, my thoughts and my actions in this moment over to this higher power? So maybe I could have a new experience. Maybe I could have some peace. But my understanding is that when I've done that in the past, I have always had some peace. So that's a real decision I can make to a real power of my own understanding. It's mine. I did something, and now it's understood by me that when I do that, I get this result. It's not a mystery God that's going to do something for me in the future if I pray correctly or do something right. It's a right now God. It's a right now experience. It's right now. And it's mine. And I can have it. I can tell you about it. I can tell you how great it is. I could talk for hours. But unless you invite that power into your life right now in this moment, you're never going to have that experience. Doesn't matter how much you are willing to believe that there is something. If you don't practice coming to believe right now, if I don't practice coming to believe right now, I do not have the experience of being restored to sanity. And that's why I say it never happens by accident. I'm never struck spiritual. I am plugging in to that thing that has all knowledge and all power. I'm plugging in and I'm doing it right now. Because if I'm not doing it now, I'm never, ever, ever doing it. The only moment that I can be coming to believe that a power greater than myself can restore me to sanity is this moment right here, right now. That's why this meeting is here. So every week I can be reminded that this is where I need to be. That if I could surrender to this moment being exactly the way it's supposed to be, that I could have a moment of peace. And I'm going to get my moment of peace right here in this meeting right now. And then I'm going to try and build on that right now. Power, could you be with me? Could you help me? Could you show me who you want me to be? Then I relax. And I let the power show me what's going on. What's going on is a room full of beautiful people. There's a relaxation happening. I can feel it, and I'm not even in the room with you. But it's happening because it always happens. The minute I stop arguing with my life and I start surrendering to this moment, that moment, all of my stress, all of my fears, all of my everything is 100% healed in this moment. In this relationship with my higher power right now, I have 100% complete recovery in this moment from alcoholism. It hasn't gone anywhere. I'm just not putting my attention on it. I'm putting my attention on my higher power. I'm being present right now. And I'm having a new experience. And I like it. And that's why I come here every Wednesday. I'm not here to teach you anything. I'm not here to be an expert. I have a lot of years of sobriety, but I'm only an expert on my own life. I can only practice this for my life and then share that with you. And if you get anything out of it, great. But the 12th step says I have to carry the message. If I'm not carrying the message, I'm dying of alcoholism. And my higher power put you in my life today, put all of you in my life so that I could have a place to carry a message, so that I could be healed right now in this moment and have a beautiful right now. That's how good my God is. He put together a meeting of a bunch of people I don't know in London so that I could have a place to carry the message. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Because he knows how much I need. It knows how much I need, how much help I need, how much recovery I need. I need to do this. I need to have this opportunity to be here so that I could be healed. And so I appreciate all of you who came today and showed up. I hope that you got something out of this. I know I did, and that's why I keep coming back. So thank you for letting me share.